Ziegler and Kathy Smitherman to give a wave, and I would like to welcome you to the first official meeting in support of the referendum on the April 9th ballot. Thank you so much for coming. For the last several years, District 90 has faced a revenue shortfall due to a perfect storm created by a lack of promised funding from the state of Illinois, a reduction in federal funds, and a decline in local funding. The district has been forced to make cuts and is facing serious budget challenges. In response to this funding crisis and in support of our local school district, a group of community leaders, parents, business owners, teachers, administrators, and staff have formed the Preserving Excellence in District 90 Committee. These citizens and taxpayers feel strongly that O'Fallon is in grave danger of losing the one thing it prizes most: its proven record of providing excellent educational opportunities for its children. Tonight, we would like to tell you a bit about the funding crisis, our campaign, and also the various volunteer opportunities. You are our greatest resource in this effort. Our supporters need to be able to explain to our community why there is no room for more cuts, why we need to preserve our tradition of excellence, and why we need to protect what matters most. Our community, our schools, our homes, and our future are at the very heart of this effort. This will be one of the most important educational elections in the history of O'Fallon schools. Let's make every vote count. Without further ado, please let me introduce to you Dr. Todd Koehl, who will run us through a short slideshow presentation and get the evening going.
There are many people in the room who are going, short. He said, they said short. Okay, short. It's short. Here we go. First of all, this is the logo that you will see, the committee. I have been fortunate to be invited sometimes to work with the committee. Remember, I'm also a community member and a taxpayer, and so I feel honored to be part of that committee, and it is a great group of people. They have really done some fantastic work. Okay, Doug. And this right here, I mean, here is the set. Here's the thing. What do we remember most about school? Unfortunately, for all the teachers in the classroom, probably not your classroom. We remember these things. Maybe participating in play, maybe an athletic event, maybe just one day in art where it was the best day ever. Playing that one piece of music that we thought was the best, the first time we ever really understood how to drag and drop something in Microsoft Word. Those are the things kind of we remember. Everything else is just kind of in a lot of ways a backdrop to it. But it's a great thing that we remember. School. It's a great thing. We all feel strongly about it. So why are we here today? We have to talk about protecting that which matters most. For us, our community, our schools, our homes, and our future. Here's the issue District 90 has. We have a shortage of revenue. Next one. This line right here is the general state aid line. You can see that it tails off. You don't need to see much more than that. It falls off relatively dramatically. This is the state funding that we get that is close to $6 million, used to be close to $7 million a year in our total funding. So it was a good percentage, almost half. Now it's more like 44% of our funding that we got in the state, from the state to the school district. Next line. This is our EAD. That line shows great growth in our line. But then it tapers and falls because our estimated value of our homes grew at an exponential rate. People recognize that, and tapered off. The problem is, next line up, our enrollment stayed pretty much on a steady. Now notice that's over a 9-year period, 3,000 to 3,500, 500 students in just a steady growth, and good growth for dollars, and then it all falls off. But notice which line didn't fall off. Because they stay. They come back every year. So we have now had forced to work with a smaller amount of dollars for the same amount of students. Back up, Doug. Can you back up? That loss right there, $2,308,213. That is the cut in funds that has happened in a yearly basis for us. That's total loss of revenue straight. Had we stayed at what we were at in 2009 for funding from the state, when you look at that number, it's a $7 million loss. But our loss in direct revenue from this time is $2,003,308,000. This is what we have done to keep up with it. We've eliminated 2 central office positions. We have put pretty stringent controls upon our administrative costs. In 2010, we lowered salaries by 1%. In 2011, we lowered all salaries, but we lowered the salary total by 11%, including the superintendent's salary by 17%. In FY12, we reduced total administrative salaries by 3%. Those figures are part of the cost controls we put in to manage that revenue problem. Elimination of 16 certified staff positions. 16 certified staff positions eliminated over that time period. No rehiring of retired staff. We've salary freezes for all employees, a savings over that time period of close to $1.1 million. And then when you put on there tuition reimbursement taken away for 2 years, it adds almost an additional $300,000. $1.4 million in savings right there. We renegotiated a bus contract. 23% savings. Thought we had finally made something work. And then the state cut the funding by 21%. Swept the rug right out from under us. 31 non-certified positions we've eliminated over that time period. That includes librarians. That includes a lunch fitness program. We've eliminated a gifted program. We no longer do full stand for testing. We've eliminated 1 district maintenance position. We've reduced building supplies by 40%. We've increased school fees for activities and just for simply registration. That's what we have done to provide a service for our community and our students that is an expectation, without a doubt. People come to this community to come to these schools. So, and we know that. So we've been delivering that product, that opportunity, and we've been managing the loss of revenue and continually manage it in this way. Now, we're sort of at a problem point. We're out of management. Now we have to really start taking a look at those things that make us what we are. We have a proposal on the table. $2.7 million in cuts that will be made. We're working today on what school will look like in August 2013 without these items. 3 regular education teachers at minimum. Remember, we've already cut 16. 2 reading teachers, 7 custodians, all electives and special teachers, 1 assistant principal out of 3, all regular education classroom support personnel, all extracurricular activities, sports clubs, trips, reduced time for clerical and health-related staff, increased parent fees. Those are the cuts that we have in front of us. Those are difficult cuts. Go ahead, Deb. This is what it does. It gets us above the line. Gets us above the line by $117,334. That's not a lot of money. When you consider the fact that our total operating budget for the course of 1 year is $27 million. When you consider the fact that a 2% cut in state aid, 5% cut a year ago, 11% cut this year, 2% more, and that wipes out $117,000. And that's a whim that they can do. We're a little short on cash. We're going to cut everybody 2%. And we're below the line again. So, what's that do? The reductions will raise class size. It'll push class sizes above 30. The trade-off of saving specials and electives is that class size will be above 30 at all grade levels. What's the trade-off? Higher class sizes or no electives and specials. There is no trade-off there. I chose, I'll take responsibility for that, the classroom. It's not a good choice. Neither of them is a good choice. We chose the classroom. Look what else is eliminated for us. The reduction plan includes elimination of 2 reading teachers. Reading and math small group instruction will be reduced across the district. This is where we make our greatest inroads with all students, is our ability to connect with them on a 1-to-1, 1-to-3 small group ratio. With our elimination of our classroom support, the deterioration of our intervention system, if you will, we begin to lose this opportunity. Are we in bad shape? Are we doing it wrong? I mean, that's the question. Have we been down the wrong path? Have we been wasting the money? Is that what we do? Is throwing it out the window? We are in instructional expenditure for all other small school districts, elementary districts in St. Clair County, third from the bottom in our expenditure per student for instruction. That's pretty good. When you look at where we are with our operational expenditure, everything that goes into operation, when you look for where we are, we're a little farther up the counter, but we're not the top. 9213 for us versus 13,245 for a neighboring school district. We do a fair job of managing our money, providing the value. Go ahead, Doug. Next. What we provide in the classroom is a qualified, educated teacher who is working with probably a larger class size than most of their colleagues in the county and providing it at a lower cost. So we don't feel that we're outside the boundary of fairness in the quality of programming we've been providing for a good value. So there's a solution to this that is better than $117,000 in a district that is what I would say substandard, and especially substandard for our community. It's a financial stability plan, and that financial stability plan has 2 columns and will always have 2 columns, and it always has had the right-hand column. But the left-hand column is the opportunity for us to vote on a 49-cent increase in the education fund. That's a referendum, April 9th, 2013. At current EAV, that would increase our revenue by $3,004,166. You can see on the right-hand side that the district will commit to, and always has committed to over the last few years, continue to manage its spending by making these cuts. The health insurance, changing our health insurance the way we look at it, 22.5% reduction already made, staff on board, agreed to take an opportunity to change the way we did. We changed our carrier, we changed our method, and it worked out that we could save $300,000. We could sign an energy contract. We've reduced mailing machines. We have a copier contract we're releasing. We have cell phone stipends we're getting rid of. We're not going to go to Chicago. We have the reading count updates we're not going to do. We have 8th grade graduation, which we are going to not do. We have credit card fees, which we might charge back to people. And we have professional dues for professionals that we're not going to pay. Savings, $450,000. That's what it does. Now, the numbers aren't really, the numbers mean something, but it's the graph you can see. What that does, what this plan does is, the bottom, the vertex, if you will, is this year. But you see it climbs out. And it climbs out to a total of $3 million. This month, the board is operating on looking at a plan that'll be a fund balance limit or ceiling. And that fund balance limit or ceiling will mean that the board, when it reaches a certain point of dollars held, that $3 million, but that's not the limit, but it could be. When it reaches that limit, it has to decide what it's going to do. Is it going to no longer tax at the rate it's taxing at? Is it going to lower its rate? Is there a program out there that needs to be taken care of and we want to do? Those things will option, but it's not just going to be able to climb like this. Not just tax to the maximum rate and just continue to raise funds and take people's tax money and just sit it in a bank for maybe some really rainy day. But the plan includes an April 9, 2013 referendum. The board approved it at its January meeting. And it's a very simple thing. Raise the maximum rate of the education fund from $1.40 to $1.89. But, so, what's it going to cost me? Well, it's going to cost you 49 cents per every $100 of assessed value. There's the formula. It looks really complicated, but it's not. It's got brackets in it. Remember, inside out. You know how to do it. I know you do. $6,000 is your homestead exemption. Almost every one of you has the homestead exemption. If you don't have the homestead exemption, you need to get the homestead exemption tomorrow. You should all have it. MV equals your market value. Go ahead, Doug. This is how it works out for a home of $210,000. 210 divided by 3 equals 70,000. 70,000 minus the homestead exemption is 64,000. 64,000 times 49 cents is 31,360. And make sure you don't stop here because you'll pass out. That's not it. 31,360 divided by 100 is $313.16. So that's your increase. Over a course of 52 weeks, it's $6.53. $6.53 to maintain your school for your student, your home value for you, your community for all the rest of us, and the future for anybody who comes after us. That's the ballot question. As per usual, ballot questions are part of the legal process, and so the question doesn't really say what you would think it would say. All of that says, should District 90 be allowed to increase the maximum value of its education fund rate from $1.40 to $1.89. Maximum value. That's the key word. It can go no higher, but it can go lower. Always, it can go lower. What's a yes vote mean? Stable class sizes. Band, chorus, computer, art, study hall in the junior high. PE, music, and computers in elementary schools. District-sponsored extracurricular programs. Clean buildings. Future financial stability. Continued strong property values, and don't leave this note, and continued community vibrancy. The National Realtors Association has said very clearly that probably the most influential part of home buying is quality schools and proximity to the schools. So all of us who are homeowners, and we say to ourselves, yeah, man, I'm getting out of here. This happened, I'm leaving. Good luck, because here's what's going to happen. Our values will immediately start to decline because the demand for homes won't be as strong. Because am I going to have proximity to a good school? No. I mean, I might be. Well, okay. I may have proximity to a school. Yeah, because we have neighborhood schools. That's what we did. Neighborhood schools. Do I have proximity to a good school? Well, yes, but not as good as it could be. Not as good as it was. I mean, we know they're good. We know the quality of the staff inside the buildings is as strong as it ever can be anywhere else. But on the outside looking in, it's not going to look like that. They're not going to come by your house. Supply and demand. It's simple. That's right. What's a no vote mean? Large class sizes due to reduction in staff. Unavoidable. Reduced classroom support due to reduction in staff. Shorter school day. Because we don't have those things anymore. So we don't have teachers the kids have no place to go. They'll do their academic courses and they'll go home. Earlier home. Due to loss of the elective music, computer, PE at the elementary, and band, chorus, art, computer, and study hall at junior high. The buildings will not be cleaned daily due to the loss of one custodian per building. Continued financial instability. Don't forget that. As the state does this, more cuts. Beginning decline in property value and beginning decline in community desirability. So, We're the future of our community and our children. I don't think there's any question about that. So we vote yes for District 90 on April 9, 2013. It's a simple solution. And that's it. Thank you.